Okay. So, what is your goal with the game, and what kind of so your goal with League of Legends, and what kind of game is this? Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. I will say I'm not an Ahri expert, right? So I know, I know the flash charm, or the charm flash combo and stuff like that. I know the basics, right? So there might be some specific Ari things I won't be able to tell you, but I'll be treating it as just like an important skill shot, right? And just quickly, what is your goal with League of Legends? Is there like a rank you're trying to hit or anything like that? Yeah, yeah. And what is your current rank? I don't think I ever had a look. Okay. Oh yeah, you wrote that. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So what is your plan here for the early laning here? Hmm. And why do you want to push? Sure. And so when do you want to stop pushing, would you think? Okay. So 2 and 3 waves, that's gonna be in like 1 minute, right? But Scuttle is not spawning for another 2 minutes. So there's a big difference there. Um, but I think like the next 2 waves or something like that, that sounds pretty right. But why stop there? It's just I'm just trying to fish a little bit for your thought process of going into this kind of lane. Hmm. Okay. So I would say the general framework when you're playing like a mage into an assassin, or generally just any ranged into melee, is that it's good to push and it's good to harass them for the first 2 or 3 levels. But then once they unlock all 3 of their spells at level 3, typically, that's when they become scary and they want to all in you. So you wanna use your advantage early to like punish them, like you've been doing here, And then once they get to level 3, we really want to be careful and respect them. So you mentioned Scuttle Prio as well. Usually when you do this kind of crash, the wave is going to start pushing back into you, right? And that is actually going to often give them prio at 3 minutes. So you can see in a lot of cases it would start pushing back into you here, but it kind of depends on what you do with the wave. If you keep pushing here after crashing, there is the chance that once he gets level 3, he's gonna all in you. And if you haven't gotten him low enough health, then that can be really, really scary. And that basically goes for any assassin, right? And you're so far away from your tower, it can be hard to get away. So yeah, it's just really important to have like a plan for the first couple waves. And here we're just kind of chilling a little bit, right? The wave is just kind of stuck here. We're not pushing it in. And if we let it stay for too long here, we're not only in danger of all ins, right? But also potentially the jungler if they do like extra early ganks. So we definitely want to avoid holding the wave here. So we gotta have a plan for whether it's like we're letting it push to us or we're pushing it into him. Yes. And you already got the wave into his tower here, right? So this is actually the crash. And this is like a 2-wave crash, which is fine. You can do a 3-wave crash. It's usually a little better, but it requires some precise control on like how fast you push and stuff. I think a 2-wave crash, just doing that every game in almost every matchup is correct. But yes, then I want you to let it push into you and stop pushing the wave here, because he's gonna get level 3. The only exception to that is if you get him really low, like if you get the assassins to like 30% HP, they can no longer all in you without dying, right? And then at that point, you kind of have the freedom to do whatever you want. And for that reason, I would also like to see you be a little more aggressive here. So we get the push, and we slow push. That's really good. You're not just hard shoving it. But I want to see you punish him more here. Like every time he tries to get a CS with Q, I want you to like land hits on him. Because if you can get him to low HP before this crashes, then that's really good for you. And right now, you're level 2, he's level 1. He's only got 1 ability. He's really not scary at all to you right now. Yeah. And just like punish him. Some champions are scary level 2. For example, Talon, he will all in you level 2. So there's a little bit of matchup knowledge about like, should I be scared of him level 2 or level 3? With Locke, it's not, we don't know for sure, right? I would say he's a little bit scary level 2 with just like QE. But he can't really do super efficient traits until level 3. Mm-hmm. Yep. So now he actually just got level 3 before you right there, because he's pushing here. So that could have been a scary time if that window had been longer for him to all in you while you're still level 2. And I would say Locke should definitely be looking for an all-in trade on you here. And when I say all-in, it doesn't necessarily mean he'll fight to the death, but like get a really big go in, do a lot of damage, and get out kind of trade. And you're kind of disrespecting that right here, right? Walking up this far. And it just kind of feels like you're not sure what you want to do with the wave. And just for like the first 3 waves, I think it's really important that you have a plan. Yeah. Yeah. So I think here you're really respecting him. He also got level 4, you're still level 3, so this is really good. When you have a big wave pushing into you, you also kind of want to be on defense, because the risk is higher for you. If you die, you lose this big wave, right? But if he dies, he might not lose anything, depending on the wave state. So I like that you're being defensive here. You were just a little bit slow to switch to this defensive mode. Yeah, more aggressive level 1 and 2, and then yeah, And then while after you crash and there's like a big wave, he has to focus all his energy on CSing basically. So that's also a really big window for like harassing him when he has to CS on the tower. And that's also why a 3-wave crash is bigger, because you crash more minion and he has to spend more time just like desperately CSing on the tower. And you have more time to get free hits on him. And just like this ward here, like this is really a really important window where you can harass him, that you go to ward here. Like this is good later in the lane, but like specifically for the first few waves, here's a really important window. So I would much prefer you you wait until he's done CSing these to ward. And near the casters, stand with your casters. Just defend your minions here. And you could have like all this time here, you could have gotten so much damage on him, right? What could he do? He needs to like focus on the minions here. Yeah, and he just uses E on the minions as well there. So, but now he has way more free time, right? And he's about to hit level 3. So so this is where you switch to defense. Okay. So yeah, either if you are putting a ward to like see where the jungler started, that's a little bit more of an advanced thing. But then yeah, I would recommend you do it before the minions even arrive. Or if this is just a defense ward, then wait until like the window for your aggression is over. Like right here. This is where I would go ward, right? Yeah. Sometimes you might lose one melee minion or something here, but that's way better than like not chunking him for like half of his remaining HP here, right? Yeah. And do you know like when are you in danger of ganks? Do you know some timers for that? Yeah, perfect. There is also a window at 2 minutes where they are switching side, right? They're running from, you can see Nautilus here is running from one side to the other at 2 minutes. They can sometimes go through mid lane. Yeah, yeah. They can sometimes go through mid lane here. It's pretty rare, and like very few junglers would do it. It's just like a small thing to be aware of. So sometimes just around that moment, just around that time, I'll be just playing a little bit safe. But that's, yeah, you don't have to worry too much about that. But yeah, this war is very early, right? If we are worried about a 3-minute gank, right? So we didn't have to rush it out. Yeah, yeah. If he's in the river, yeah, yeah, that's very true as well. I do generally like that ward, but yeah, here against Zac, it might be a little more iffy. Yeah. Yeah, I like to place it like in the river part of this corner, right? So then you can kind of see the river entrance. So just a little bit more further to the right. Can you see my mouse, by the way? Yeah, just a little bit further to the right down here. Then you can see like if he's just killed Scuttle and he's running towards you, you'll spot him. Okay. So Locke is missing here. What are you thinking? Yeah. Or like throwing a ward or something like that? Yeah. After he crashes the wave here, right? We see him here after he crashes the wave. He can actually go for what's called a cheetah recall, which is where you just recall here and then you come back with an extra item. This is also like a little bit more advanced thing. I don't want you to spend too much energy on it. But he could be recalling here and he would basically lose no minions, right? Look, by the time you crash it, there's only one melee gone. Um, so my point is just that hard shoving is correct here in case he was recalling, that you can potentially deny more. Yeah, so I like that you pushed here. By the way, that the item being on the right key, if you make an item set, you can actually specify it should automatically go there. I can show you something like that afterwards if you're interested. Because that can really make a difference if you didn't put the potion on the right key and you get in a fight and you realize you didn't hit it or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just show you quick here. If you go into here your collection and then items, and then like I have an item set for Anivia here, and then you can add items in these groups or whatever, and then you can hover over this one, and then there's this grid button here, and you can say this should go on button 2, and then it will always go there when you buy it. Only if you buy it from the item set page. That's actually a really annoying thing. But yeah, if you can get into the habit of that, I think it's really good. Yes. Just 1 second here. Just gonna double check. Okay, all good. Yeah. So now we have Locke kind of low. We have all our potions. So what is your thought process here? And we're at like we're past like 3:30, so the scuttle crabs are kind of gone. Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I would say as long as you're full HP and mana and stuff, like as long as you're ahead in the lane, I would say waiting for Lost Chapter is great if you can get away with it. Uh, but just like trying to build some advantages through HP or whatever, and then really thinking about threat assessment. What does he want to do? He's an assassin. How does he want to get onto me? And what do I want to do about it? Is kind of where your focus should be. So you should be really be thinking about like in this matchup, how should I use my charm? Can I use it just to like harass him and try to get damage on him, or do I need to use it when it goes on me to survive or something like that? But you said one thing. You said the junglers are probably clearing here, and I'm specifically talking about this window here at 3 to 3:30, right? Where they just killed the scuttle crabs. And all their camps are actually waiting to respawn. So this is actually the window they have to gank, right? As you mentioned, 3 minutes. They have like ideally not much more than 15 seconds before they want to recall, but often junglers overstay and like spend too long ganking here. So yeah, just like the 3 minute window is when the scuttle spawn and there's either a scuttle fight, but a lot of the times the jungler will gank before they kill the scuttle. If they don't see a gank, they'll just kill the scuttle and then they'll look for a gank. So this timing here at 3 to 3:30 to 4 minutes is really when we want to be thinking about jungle ganks from both perspectives, right? Whether our jungler wants to gank our lane or the enemy jungler wants to gank us. And we've seen Nautilus here. He's clearing the scuttle, and nobody else is there, so we kind of know where the jungler is, right? If you think about it, it he has to be bot side on the crab, and we are like kind of leaning towards the bot side. It's a little bit dangerous, right? So this is this is like this is like a really important window. I want you to be thinking about this 3 to 4 minute window here. Um, Yeah, you're panning bot lane to see what's going on down there, but it doesn't look like you're thinking too much about the junglers here. Your Nautilus is trying to look for camps, but obviously the enemy jungler is also just full cleared, so there's not going to be any camps. Just a little bit of silliness from him, I think. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's more important things to gather information about. Yeah. So just like doing a good laning here, doing good trades, trying to harass him when he's going for CS, and then just thinking about like what does he want to do? How does he want to go for a kill or something? And how do I gotta play in response to that? So we get a crash here, and we get a recall after him. That's generally a good thing. It does give him prior here because he can push first. That usually won't matter, but we get more gold to spend, right? Yeah. Let's just see what. Yeah. Uh, yeah, like a Dark Seal, Boots, and a Mana Crystal would be 950. Or yeah. Or like another option is 2 books and a refillable if you sell your potions. But I do like the other one better. And yeah, just like spending some time thinking about like different gold values, what you want to buy approximately at those can also be helpful. You can also like go all the way, like I do. Let me just show you quick here. In my item sets, I actually have not in this one. I have it for Briar, right? Yeah, here I have like if I have 1,000 gold, I should buy these. That's another thing you can use item sets for, but that's kind of a crazy thing to do. Um, yeah, so right. Like if you go back with like 350 gold, it's like takes a long time to calculate what can I buy, and like I have exactly what I need to buy here. Of course, you have to adjust for the game and stuff, but that's like yeah, it's not that it's not a thing you should be focusing too much effort on. It's just like a small tricks that if you really like it, you can work about it. But I like your thought process here. It's just like okay, I just gotta buy something and get on the map. That's really good. Like you spend too much time here, of course, but like you don't like sit there and calculate the perfect choice. You just end up okay, I just gotta buy something, and you do that. So that's good. And you catch the wave in time, right? If we spent more time, it would have been worse. Um, So just like when the minions are going on the tower here, you kind of want to try to figure out how you can get all the CS, right? Should be your focus here. Um, so when you throw this Q here, you kind of make it really hard to get any of the CS, right? One thing you can just do is just walk into if like this is like a complex situation, like how the hell do we get all the CS from this situation? Just walk into the wave and tank it, and then you can like have more time to think. Um, so don't let them go on the tower was an option here. Uh, but also, like with a lot of experience on Ahri, you'll know exactly what to do. So, yeah, just really hard focusing the first minion here, and then hoping the second minion goes. It doesn't. Yeah, yeah, just something to think about. And often you can just like tank the wave and prevent it from going on the tower if the enemy is not contesting you. Yeah. So Locke crashed the wave, and then he went missing again. So what are you thinking this time? Do you think? Yeah. You do ping missing once, and he could have roamed there. It would have been slightly early for a roam from him, but he could have roamed. Um, so in that consideration, you slow push, which I think is okay. Like your bot lane is not scared of dying or anything. So I don't hate it. Just a little more. Yeah, go ahead. Hmm. Yeah, that's a very good way to think of it. It's the Q. It's like 3 small skill shots, and every time you get hit, you get like a debuff stack. Like here, you can see you have 2 nails on you, right? And then when he auto attacks you, he procs it for extra damage. Yeah. But yeah, let's just have a look at it straight here. So we get level 6. We want to use our level advantage to all in. I like that way of thinking. I kind of want to worry about this cannon first, and then the all in. Just because it's so much gold, and yeah, we get the cannon anyway. But we start by landing by going for our Q, which misses. Then we go for a W. It does some damage. And then he uses his E on the wave. And then we go in. Like, I'll... Yeah, go ahead. What are you thinking? Yes. Yep. But also anytime after it, right? Here he did it. So now it should be a pretty free charm. If we just... Yeah, we kind of fling it out there. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. 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 It would have been pretty good. Um, but just as a general purpose, we wanna use our ult from an as advantageous position as possible, right? Him using his E is definitely a big point towards us having the advantage. But also, just having landed our charm first can also be really big, right? So if we land the charm, we hit, then we can ult and go all in because we already know our charm hit, right? We know we can get our full damage on him. While, but if we miss the charm, like here, we can just wait to ult until the next charm, right? Um, yeah, if you hadn't used ult yet, I would have preferred we charm first before using ult. Right there. Instead of ult, we just press charm, and then when the charm hits, we know our charm hit. Then we can ult and like full on commit. Because if we know the charm missed, we would actually rather just wait for our next charm. I would say he might get level 6 then, but we kind of lost our window anyway. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely true, I think. But also that's like a hyper specific thing. And I think it's more important to like focus on the generalizable things we can kind of like extract as rules to set for ourselves, if that makes sense. So that, yeah. So I think you're right. We could have turned this into a kill if we positioned better. So that's definitely a thing. But also just like these decisions of when and where to move, but also like use spells, I think is really important. So I just want to go back to this one here. So we miss our charm, and then we ult into him here, which I think is a little bit questionable, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and even more important, your ult would be ready for that exact time as well. It is possible that he gets level 6 in the meantime. We don't exactly know his experience, right? Um, uh, but I think it's still better than forcing this trade after we miss our important spells. And then just like ulting into the melee range with an assassin, like some assassins will just kill you there, and Aurelia will kill you there. Um, yeah, yeah. It usually depends on like cooldowns and stuff, but yeah, a lot of people would do that. So I would just like, yeah, I just want to make that impression on you to really think about like where you place those ults, especially against assassins. Yeah. Okay. So we saw this. He kind of positions a little bit defensively. Our jungler comes in for a gank. And this is like the 5-minute timer you talked about after the second clear. So also a very predictable timing. And then we can also kind of assess that the enemy jungler might also be ready here somewhere. Doesn't end up showing up. But anyway. So what was Locke's HP at the end of this? He got pretty low, so he's probably recalling, right? And then what do you want to do? Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's a very good conclusion. You can go for a hit on the tower here just to get the plate. That's the first plate is usually very easy to get, and that can be a big like 120 gold injection into whatever item you're buying, right? So definitely consider hitting the tower for the plate after you clear the wave first and then recall. But that will get you back to the lane slower, and that will give Locke more priority when you comes back. So thinking about that priority is also important. So if you think there is a dragon fight starting here, then valuing the instant recall and getting back for priority is really good. They did pull the dragon, I see, and they did force a fight. So we are. I think it's okay to like join this fight, but you are sacrificing your own lane a lot to do this. So it's really got to be worth it, and you really got to keep an eye on whether do they need me, and two, can I even get kills or anything out of it? And you kind of do that, then you take the recall. Not the end of the world. You catch most of this wave. So yeah, I think that was a reasonable conclusion. I don't mind that you went to the play there, just as long as you know that you really don't want to be there and you want to think about your own lane at this stage. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm just thinking if you could walk up and just get the flash, you know. Also, yeah, just as Nautilus, what's his name, Urgot comes in. If you can just like overload his mental stack, like we talked about you being overloaded a little bit earlier. If you can just like distract him a lot, he might not notice the Urgot being right behind him as well. So you play very far back here. That can also be good if you think that you just want to bait him to stay in closer, so the gank will be successful. But I just don't like that we never tried a charm here. Here, he cannot dash away from you here. So, and I think you're barely in charm range, right? Oh, you could W to get in charm range, right? Um, Um, yeah, just like balancing the when you play defensive, when you play aggressive. Um, yeah, we try to hit with a random Q, and then we kind of walk up afterwards. So here we try a Q, we get some CS, we try to hit him at the same time. We don't really hit him, but then we kind of walk up afterwards. So you throw the Q. What was it I saw? We throw the Q, it doesn't hit, and then we kind of like walk into him here, right? This is a time where you're on cooldown and he's not. So this is um just like one of the basics of trading, right? Is like cooldown punishment from both sides. So you gotta be worried about him going on you while you don't have your one of your cooldowns. So after you miss the Q, I would just like to see a little bit of more defensiveness. Okay, so he goes for the combo. He does the full thing. We panic alt. Let's see here. So what do you know about Locke's abilities here? Like just very roughly. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So he uses his W to get close to you here, right? Then he uses his Qs. He gets the auto attack, and then he uses E. And what does he have now? Yeah, he only has his ult, and like we could easily like ult his ult, right? Or we can potentially even walk out of it because it's so damn slow. But otherwise, he's got nothing left, right? So now is actually our window to punish him. But instead, we ult away in kind of panic, right? Yeah. Now is actually our chance to like he got a good trade. Now it's our chance to get what we can back. And this is again like cooldown management. He's got everything on cooldown now. He just used everything. And our Q at least, and we used our alt and W and everything is coming up. But we're playing very very scared afterwards. And then after he gets his abilities up, it looked like you were getting ready to go back in, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So just like, but it's just like a general mind thing. It doesn't even matter like what champion is playing against what champion. Just like he just used everything. He has not short, not short, long cooldowns, but like moderate cooldowns, and we have a chance to punish him back. Especially as a ranged champion versus a melee champion. We can our auto attacks is just better because we can kite in both directions. Yep. Okay, so let's see. We come back to lane. We see that a fight is going on. And it's kind of like a dire fight. So I think it's correct to move here. Usually, when there is like a thing going on in river, we would prefer to push the wave first and then move, right? But this is so urgent that I agree with walking straight here. What is something we gotta keep in mind though when we're walking into this? What do we gotta think about? Yes, exactly. It's Zack because there's a high chance that there's a good chance that Zack is somewhere ready to join this fight as soon as he sees it, the same way you're doing. So we just want to think about like if our jungler is almost dead and Locke has half HP, and then Zack joins the fight, right? It could get ugly. But then also considering the top lane, we can see that the enemy top is seemingly not here, but ours is. So that kind of makes it a winning play, right? We just got to think about the man advantage we have before we join this fight. Because in some cases, you just gotta let Nautilus die here. Otherwise, Zack joins in and we die. So yeah, I just want to make sure, that, and emphasize that that's the kind of thing you gotta be thinking about when you run into this play. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily. I think because your Urgot had full priority and was able to join here and full HP, I think it was still good to go even if Zack is there. But I'm just emphasizing, like, you gotta think about it, right? Yeah. Okay, good. And it could also have been another world where it was Garen that had priority and joining first, and then it gets really scary, right? Okay, so we come back to lane. Locke is low health, probably making circles in our top jungle, so we just get some free damage here. So what are you thinking about, like, your plan for the next minute or so? What? Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. I don't necessarily think he can get. I don't think he can necessarily get free trades on you. I mean, he has to hit you with his Q before he can really go in. So I don't mind this. We can lean a little bit more to the left where we have our ward. But I think this is perfectly fine. Hard shoving here and then looking for a base for our malignants is reasonable. You set TP back. That is an option, but ideally we don't use our TP for it, right? Because right here we probably don't need to TP. Um, no, you don't. So yeah, I agree that yeah. So I have like a so this is again not something I can speak with like a lot of authority on whether it's correct or not. But I have like a rule that around 10 minutes we don't want to use our TP too much for farm. We instead want to use it for plays around the map, or tempo, right? So it's good that you don't use TP here because there is no need to. We have enough HP and stuff that we can even trade half our HP just to crash the wave and then get a recall. It's not a big deal. You also said that like he will out trade me, or he can get free trades on me and stuff like that. That's not necessarily the right mindset if we're thinking about cooldowns, right? Because what Locke has to do, he actually has to use his both his E and his Q to clear waves. So if we wait for him to just like use his stuff on the wave, then we can get the free trade on him. So you got to be a little more flexible in thinking about like who gets the free trade or whatever. And yeah, I think like a common theme here is like including cooldowns in your thinking a little bit more. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's just think about like best and worst case scenarios here. So we push the wave in. We do have a window. We could keep hitting the tower, like you say, or we could do something with this tempo we have. And another wave has just arrived. So in that case, I would like to shove that first, because then we'll have an even bigger window to do something if we want to. But let's say we push that wave or whatever, and we look at this situation. So what is like the best case scenario if we run down here? Um, who will end up fighting, and how will it go? Kind of 3v2. Who's the two? Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's say we join down there. We run all the way down there, and then it's 3v3 or maybe a 3v4, right? Yeah, right. So we maybe get a 3v3, we maybe get a 3v4. And if we look at like the health values of Caitlyn, she's a little bit low, right? We haven't panned the camera to see the enemy bot lane if they have health or not. So it's kind of like a little bit of flipping a coin, right? We flip a coin whether we have an even man advantage or not, and then we flip a coin whether we win the fight with Caitlyn lower health. And we know Locke really likes these kinds of fights, right? And then if we start thinking about worst case scenarios, Zac is there, or Norlis is not at all. We spend our TP, we we get into a bad fight, and some of us die, and then Locke goes mid, then crashes the wave and gets played and everything, right? There's a lot of downside potential here. So just like taking the guaranteed advantage here and just keep pushing mid and hitting the tower until he responds, I think is the way better play here. Yeah, right. But again, running down there now is even worse, right? Because we could be running into a 2v4, basically. Uh, yeah. So this is, and if they're diving, I mean, I would say that they should only be diving if their jungler's nearby. Of course, random shit is gonna happen, but yeah, so it feels like kind of like you're feeling a lot of responsibility. It's your laner who's roaming and tower diving, and like, oh shit, I gotta do something, right? Um, so it's natural to feel a lot of pressure that like we gotta make a counterplay, we gotta do something. But the real thing here is just like that the thing they did, the bot lane, is like low percentage play, and Locke, even if Locke gets 300 gold or whatever, he lost like 500 gold of value at least mid lane here already. Yeah. So I think you just gotta commit to exactly what you're doing. Just like keep pressuring mid, hit the tower even more. And that also puts them on a timer, right? Locke is seeing that. He's seeing how much he's losing. So he gets kind of stressed out. Maybe he does a bad play, or maybe he just goes back mid. Um yeah, so sometimes, I mean, Locke is gonna get a triple kill or whatever there, or a double kill. But like he's gambling in a really bad way. That's the expected value for him is really low. So even here, he still can't be mid. So I would just keep punishing, keep pushing the wave. If Zac comes mid, that's good for us. He's not clearing his camps. He's not ganking anyone else, and he can't kill us. Yeah. So like you're just kind of like forcing this because you feel a lot of pressure. It seems like to like do something, but like the best thing you can do is just like pressure mid here. Yeah. Yeah, and that is literally like 550 gold worth of just wave gold, not to mention the XP, not to mention the plate you're getting, right? it is a quadra kill. You pretty much get advantage mid lane here because he's doing that. And if you had kept pushing the advantage more, right? Your bot lane might get mad at you, but like just mute him because yeah, you gotta not let that kind of social, what do you want, not social stigma, but that kind of like social pressure. You gotta not let that affect your gameplay here. Which is what I'm guessing is you're feeling here. So now we end up finding a man advantage down here, and we have a level lead on Locke, and yeah. So I just want to see the moment you decide to go down. You see on the minimap, it's 3v1. Zac is joining in, but even, yeah, worst case, it's pretty much a 3v3. So yeah, I don't mind it. We see Locke. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, and you have a giant lead mid lane right now. So we get back to lane, we clear the wave. What are you thinking here? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. So Locke has a like a almost 40 CS deficit, and he's 2 levels down. He does have 3 kills, so he's kind of okay on items. Um, but we do have a big advantage here. Uh, I just generally, what is your job when you have like an advantage mid lane here, especially as like a skirmishing mage like this? Yeah, yeah. I mostly agree with that. Um, Yeah, and it's good that you're saying we don't want to play for topside because yeah, we don't want to save the losing lane. That's never the play. We want to play around our winning people. But here, I would say we are by far the strongest. Not by far, but we are the strongest member here. And I think the way you need to be thinking at it from this point is to push your own advantage even further. So make sure you use this advantage to get good trades, to get more plates, to get more waves, and then being first for objectives and dragons. And then only when you have real downtime do you look to like help other lanes and stuff like that. I think the mindset you gotta be in is not, the first thought should not be, oh, I gotta help the other lanes. It should be, how do I maintain and push further my own lead? Yeah, and sometimes we can't really do anything to push our lead. If we crash a wave and Log is not there, and we can't get the next plate or whatever, then going to a lane is fine, even if it doesn't help us. Like we want to be doing something, right? So the dragon just spawned, right? So what are you thinking about that? Yeah. So how should you have played this out? So we can see how you did play it out, but what should you have done? So let me just like pause every few seconds. You can just tell me what you should have done at each stage. Yeah. He also hit you with the Q, right? Yeah. So what do you think Locke is thinking here? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Regardless of the dragon, I think he's just looking to get a big trade on you. Maybe take half your HP, and then later he can kill you or something like that. So if that's what he wants to do, what should we be doing? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah. So we should be standing back here, right? We get hit by the second Q, we get hit by the third Q, and we're just kind of standing still here. Yeah. And we give him the proc for free. And then we kind of like panic afterwards. And now he's got nothing left. Even his ult is not ready. So this is again where we could his Q. Okay, his Q has short cooldown at this stage, but we could right after here. We can even R forward here, just like not into him, but like downwards here. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then we can trade back on him when he has everything on cooldown. We do want to be careful because like he is gonna get his spells up, but like just a quick trade back could be good. But yeah, the biggest problem here is just that like he hits a Q and you don't respect it at all. You don't even try to dodge the second and third Q, and you just let him walk into melee range with you. Yeah. It, it kind of looks like you're very focused on that cannon actually, and it kind of seems like you're tunnel visioning on that cannon. Like you're clicking the cannon, and then you click the cannon again, but kind of miss, and that's why you move forward. Um, and then suddenly we realize, oh shit, he's heavy trading on us. Yeah, and then now we're overwhelmed and we're panicking, and yeah, it just becomes a really bad trade relative to the advantage we have. Um, yeah, we recall here. What are we gonna consider? What do we have to consider when we do this recall? Mm-hmm. But it's not gonna be that instant, right? You have to finish your recall first. Sure. What what you could do is just like keep Locke focused on you instead of joining the fight. Because I think if you recall here, Locke has every opportunity to just go and join that fight. But if you just like keep Locke interested, but without risking your life, he doesn't have ult, right? And he doesn't have that long of a dash or engage. So if you can just keep him interested in you instead of joining this fight, you don't have to necessarily risk your life, but that can be like a big thing when some fight is going on. Because the time you take, the 8 seconds to recall and then the 4 seconds to TP, plus the healing and buying and whatever, like Locke can have killed your whole team in that time. Yeah. We don't have an ult because we used it earlier. And Ahri really wants to play around her ult cooldown. Um, yeah. Also, buying like an extra book here while you're TPing, you have 500 gold as you're leaving base. Could have also been the difference, right? Just another small thing. So let's just see. I don't mind you joining this fight. I think it's fine. If you're noticing Garen is here, you should know that this is gonna turn into a man disadvantage pretty soon. Right? If you see Garen, yeah, it's fine. I might have missed it as well. Um, But yeah, also when we see Caitlyn here, like take a big chunk and then flash away, then it kind of like looks like a losing fight, right? And we don't have ult, so I think we should be taking a position here as if this is like a fight we want to disengage from. Smolder is also low, so maybe we can like play it out a little bit. But we don't really like being in this fight. We have a wave crashing mid. We don't have our ult. It's not really a play we want to hard commit to, right? So you go very deep here. If they all turn on you right now, I think you have, if you're fast enough, you can flash out of it, but like otherwise you just die. Yeah, if that sack hits and the other rest of the team was on you. Um so yeah. Yeah, it feels a little bit like you used your TP and you came all the way down here and you better damn well get something out of it. And so you kind of like force a fight that kind of looks a little bit iffy, right? That's like a little bit of a sunk cost fallacy, right? Then we react a little bit late to Garen suddenly being behind us, right? Here. Takes us a while before we start running. And I would... Yeah. And specifically with Garen, you might even want to flash early here because he's going to silence you, right? And very likely kill you before you can even flash. If he focused on you here. Oh, he gets slowed. Okay. Otherwise, he potentially could have killed you instantly. So, yeah. Just like a little bit of a threat thing. Okay. So, the game is kind of even. There's a lot of chaos going on. And we would have had the tower, right, if we'd been pressuring this more earlier. Locke comes in behind us. We respect it. And we just, like, evaluate the situation. This is good. We contest the wave. You can, like... Okay, so here he uses the Q on the wave, right? And yeah, just look to punish him a little bit more aggressively here. Like, we could have used W. We could have probably found a charm angle. And we're close enough to our own tower, and we have ult, so he can't really do anything back to us. So, yeah. Because that can easily make the difference of whether he can roam or not, etc. So then, we just kind of leave lane here. We push the wave. We go top, because there's a play happening top. And I would just like to, like, consider whether we should be there or not. So what do you think? Do we need to be up there? Yeah. Yeah. So what does Locke get out of this? Yeah. And he can take a recall, or maybe even in another situation, he will be the one roaming up top after you go back mid here. When the situation could be looking differently afterwards, right? So, yeah. So you really gotta, value or get value out of the turns you take here. Otherwise, just maintain your prio if you don't need to be anywhere else. Okay, so I'm just gonna be fast forwarding a little bit. So now we're in side lane. Let's just see how that happened. Which it's good. We push. They ping the tower. Caitlyn comes mid. You go top at first. That's fine. Then you see a big wave. But I like this. Yeah, it's good. He's pushed up too far. We know Garen is top. Yeah, there's a chance there's more people here, but it's pretty low. I think this is good. Yeah, so we push a wave, and then what do we see? We see 3 people mid. Or 2 people. 3 people mid, yeah. We don't see... Locke is dead. So who's left? It's Garen, right? And we saw him here. If we were looking at the minimap, right? So there's actually no one who can be here to stop you right now. And there's 3 people in it. One is dead and one is top. Garen's top, right? Or was just top. Yeah. Yeah, but okay, so they siege mid. They're not gonna take the tower, right? Your Caitlyn is spawning and your Lux is there and everything. Maybe they get a plate or whatever, but you can get the same value bot. And when you can, you really want to crash these waves. Because what's gonna happen down here in this wave is like yeah, there's just gonna be so much lost CS over the next period of time here. So if we just look at the minimap here, red waves. Like this is the wave you didn't crash. It meets a wave here, and then these minions just like start killing each other forever, forever, forever. And that's like 4 or 5 waves that just got lost. While if you crashed, it would be slow building back to you, and you would get like a huge wave to collect instead. Okay, let's go. Yeah, that's definitely also an option. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, if we took the wave first, that would have been really, really good. Because those like 4 or 5 waves or whatever that's going to waste down there, that's, you know, that's 800 gold guaranteed. That's basically a triple kill, right? Worth of value. Um, it's more than a triple kill if you include the XP. So like, if you can get that crash for free, it is really, really valuable. Okay, so let's see. We end up recalling. Don't necessarily hate it, depending on the map state. We get the kill with the charm. Okay, so now we have like a big strong advantage. We wanna keep this going. I would like to see some pings here to like, because your team is kind of like sitting back. There's 2 enemies dead now. Garen has low HP. You can, as you identify here correctly, that you can keep this going. So ideally some pings, some pings. Yeah. So this would have been an ideal situation to do a charm flash, I think. If you think you can get the charm without the flash, then of course that's fine. But obviously we didn't get it. Like right here, he's in range, no matter what he does. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. And especially also because the dragon is coming up now. And we don't necessarily have a big man advantage for that. So getting the kill on Smolder is actually really, really big. It's definitely worth our flash, I would say. Yeah. So here I'm a little bit scared that you're just like ulting into a Locke here. You take the first Q. I think if the Locke plays better, he just one-shots you here. Yeah, it was kind of hard. But like just a little bit of spacing. Like I think it's okay to go in with the first Q, but then you got to be ready to dodge the Q. Like I would start predictively dodging the next Q, and then do not go closer than this at all. It's a little bit like I can't necessarily speak authoritatively about the limits of Ahri in this situation, but that's my feeling on it. But oh yeah, I see. And if he flashes it, so yeah, it's a reasonable idea. I just think this play is too slow for that idea. Like if you had flashed and then R into him, then he would have way harder time reacting. But here he has like a big window while your second R is getting ready, where he can react to what you're doing. And that's also like he's mentally prepared for it now. That's also why he's able to flash, kind of, potentially. Yeah, but I don't want to. I don't want to speak with too much authority. I'm not like an Ahri expert, and it's not like I'm a challenger player or something. So exactly how you play out that fight, can't say. But yeah, just definitely be aware of what can kill you in that situation. Because if you die here, you potentially lose, almost certainly lose Dragon if we look at your team's health. So you really gotta be. You're the important piece for whether this Dragon is ours or theirs here. And we do end up getting it because it goes well. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure if he could have gotten enough stacks on you with Q before you kill him, but it's definitely close. So we go back to the side lane here. So what is your plan here as you come back to the side lane? We just killed Dragon. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What would it take for you to be able to take Baron? What would we need? Like, can we all just run and go and kill Baron now, or is that impossible? Right? Yeah. Yeah. So what about after Urgot respawns? Can we just ping Baron and go Baron here? Sure. So let's say you push out the bot wave while Urgot is respawning, then Urgot respawns, and then can we then go Baron and kill it? Right. But yeah, we're talking 45 seconds, right? So let's just assume that we kind of have vision on most of them, and like some of them are mid, some of them bot, some of them top. So I'm just like in as a general thing, when can we go take Baron? Is what I'm kind of fishing for. Okay, so if the entire team is at Baron, we can just like kind of take it. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm fishing for. So that's what we want to be building towards, is a man advantage, so we can eventually take Baron. That can mean getting a pick and killing someone, and then like spam pinging Baron. Let's go, let's go, let's go. But you can't just go force Baron while all 5 enemies are alive, unless like too many of them are bot side, for example, right? So given that, what is our plan right now in this state? Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to just like your general idea of what you're supposed to do in this situation, because this is a common situation, and I'm not focused on whether Urgot is dead or not. That's not too relevant. Just like how to play the side lane here. So you push it as far as you can. You said. Um, what do you do when you push it as far as you can? Let's say we push it out, and then someone stronger than us shows up, or two people show up. What then? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's just how you gotta think about it. So playing the side lane here is just about pushing out, creating man advantages, and then just collapsing in on mid lane or whatever is happening. And you can use your TP for that, or you can just walk there. It depends on the situation. So I totally correct. And that was exactly what I was looking for. There was one thing I was thinking of, but it's kind of slipped my mind. Okay. Um. So now we see. Just a second. We see this. What now? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. That's perfect. So, because especially because Urgot is dead, you're kind of on a defense here. They have all the tempo to make the plays. Um, so just playing defense and waiting for our tempo to recover by Urgot spawning and waves being pushed out is the correct play. And if they have two people bot lane, that is like draining their tempo completely. Right? Um, so if you just chill here, just wait it out, maybe try to get a ward so you can see what they're doing. If we could get a ward in the side bush, it would have been super good. But yeah, this is perfect. You sit on your tower, you absorb the pressure they're applying, and it give you a tempo advantage right about here, right? And they overstayed when they had bad tempo. You punish it, and now what? Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. If your entire team, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. If your entire team moves to Baron right now, uh, it's definitely good for you. And you can very high likely take Baron. So let's say you all go here. So what do you got to do to make this happen? By the way, so if you recall here, that takes 8 seconds to recall, and then 20 seconds to run to Baron in a perfect world, right? And then that's 28 seconds, and then Smolder is getting dangerously close to respawning. And Garen is definitely very close if they're moving there. So assuming they have some vision over there, I would say there's not enough time to recall first. You got to go there straight, not recall first. Yeah, the first thing is just spam pinging Baron here. Like if you just ping once, your team is just taking it like a suggestion. Like you're saying, "Hey, let's think about Baron here." But if you spam ping it with like the all-in ping, the on my way ping, the normal blue ping, and then you see if your team all starts moving to Baron, and then you can potentially make a good play. But if Caitlyn finishes her recall and like Urgot starts pushing bot wave or something, then it's dead. You can't do Baron. You don't have enough man advantage, enough time. So this is because it's like still kind of close to 20 minutes. Respawn timers are not that long yet. If this was 5 minutes later, Smolder's respawn time would have been like 60, 70 seconds, and then it's a lot easier to do. So the windows are kind of tight for this case. I would say it's very unlikely you get everyone to just run straight to Baron. Caitlyn, she has some whatever item in base she wants to buy, and like Urgot wants to push a wave or something. It's very rare that your team is actually just gonna straight line to Baron here and get it. But it is the right call, and it can't hurt to like make the call. You just gotta be aware that like the timer is very short, and if it doesn't happen right away, then you gotta call it off afterwards. Yeah. Yeah. So we wanna build towards the next man advantage. So the next window to take Baron, right? And that's we just go back to the same side laning strategy here. So here you are recalling. Everybody else is kind of like posturing for a fight mid lane here, and this is a very bad recall. One of the yeah, exactly. You're super desynced. You want to sync pressure with your team. So if your team is pressure, it doesn't matter if you had 6,000 gold. You gotta match the pressure here. So that if they commit to a 5v4 mid, you either TP in and you turn the fight around, or you get like 1.5 towers bot lane. Yeah, this is a brutal brutal recall. So now you're picking Baron. It's a little late for that, right? We need some kind of man advantage. Uh, it can be good because you have a wave crashing bot lane, and someone is going to have to respond to that. So if it's someone that goes down there and they don't have TP, then you can go for a Baron play here, but it is a little bit forced. And I think here in gold, people make so many mistakes. It's better to just like play out the correct sequences and then wait for them to make a mistake and punish it. Yeah, yeah. It's the worst on a coin flip because you're going to be taking a lot of damage from Baron. And you know what the Baron debuff does? He applies like a stacking debuff to everyone he's hitting, and it like reduces your armor and magic resist by a ton. And it, yeah, and the target he's hitting is also getting a debuff that reduces their damage by 50%. That's like an anti-solo Baron thing, so Master Yi can't just go solo Baron whenever he wants. Yeah, so just like forcing Baron while it's even strength is always pretty much always a bad play, unless we have some kind of man advantage because they sent 2 bot lane or something. Okay, so one thing here, like Nautilus uses his ult on Locke here. I would like to see you just fucking send it ult in and nuke Locke with everything you got here. Because Ahri's yeah, ult over the wall, ult to get close to him, charm him right after the knock up hits, and then just nuke him. And then Lux is gonna follow up with some long range stuff or something. And then you can use ult to get out. But now he just kind of like walks out. It was actually a really good ult by Nautilus, I would say. Okay, they counter engage. The fight gets messy. You do an okay job here, I think. Yeah, I don't mind that. Gotta be a little respectful, but it's okay. Oh. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's really good. Yeah. Perfect. Oh, you pressed you pressed tab while Locke is on top of you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And just so this coaching session doesn't run too long, we're just gonna be speed through some macro stuff here. Okay. So you respawn. You have Lux is still dead. You go all four to Dragon, and there are 5 people alive. You're at a man disadvantage here. It would be much better to just give Dragon. Yeah. Yeah. And even if it is sold, taking a 4v5 is just it gives them Baron afterwards. You what I would like to see is just like supporting Nautilus and trying to steal. I would write in chat, hey, Nautilus, try to steal or something, if it is soul. But here we just give. So we push out side lane. we recall here because like Locke is coming to us and we don't see anyone, so we pushed as far as we could. Someone is gonna have to come bot lane. This is just it's Smolder who does it here. So now we can run out and get a man advantage somewhere else. That's kind of what you do. You try, you look for it. It doesn't happen. A fight breaks out with one top, one bot. So it's just kind of a 4v4. So just kind of depends on what the engage looks like. This is fine. Garen is closer than Urgot, but that's not kind of like our thing. So we sit back. We sit back and wait for their mistakes. I think you're playing this well. Yeah. We don't have charm. We're chilling a little bit, waiting for cooldowns. We go in as we see someone get knocked up and stuff. Really good. And then we get one shot by Locke. I think you played this well. I'm not too concerned about it. It's just Locke things. Yeah. So then we come out of base. We go side lane. Dragon's coming up in a minute. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was a big mistake. Also, the fact that you didn't see the potential Baron play while you had an enemy dead when Smolder was dead earlier. It's not necessarily that you should have absolutely gone for it. I'm just concerned that you didn't see it all. Not concerned. But like, it was a mistake not to see it there. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think we got some stuff to work with here. I'm gonna try and write some learning objectives for you. Here. So add freeze, and you can tell me what you think. Learning objectives. So I think your team fighting is pretty good. There was like that one time you could have been a little more aggressive when Snorla's thing came out, but other times you were really quick and good at like joining in when your teammates engage. So I think your team fighting is actually really good. I want to focus on your laning, like early laning. So have a plan for the first 3 waves. Really think about the 3 to 3:30 gank timers. And more more aggression. And actually, we're gonna change this to think about yours and the enemy's cooldowns. Right? So I think if you like, yeah, your macro seems decent enough. Your team fighting seems decent enough. I think we've just really got to nail down your early game here. And also, like, we talked about the where you were kind of like unsure, should I roam bot and help the diving my bot lane, or should I just push mid? I think you next time you'll be in that situation, you'll know what the right play is, and you'll just commit to it after we talked about it. I think this is what you got to focus on. Yeah, I think this is what you got to focus on in your games. Yeah. But I actually think if you get a lead, I think you usually lead well from what I've seen here. Is that what you feel like in your games generally? If you get a lead, you are like some games you can't carry, but like mostly you kind of do okay, or do you think like you don't know what to do with your lead? And when I said you took a bad recall, you knew instantly why that was a bad recall. So that's also a really good sign for me. So I think your late game is good enough. I don't think that's why we need to put our focus here. I think we gotta get you a lead in more games, because I think your early laning is, from that game, it looked like a weakness. And if we can clean that up, you're gonna go into the mid game with a much bigger lead in more games. So yeah, how does that sound? Yeah. It. Yeah. If like if you work on this and then you feel like you've made significant progress, even if it's just like in a few days or whatever, um, don't feel free to like hit me up, and like if there's new games you're frustrated by or something, then we can do another coaching session then. But otherwise, yeah, just yeah, try and focus on this stuff. And also, if you have any questions, or just like you want to send me a screenshot, like what should I've done here or something like that, just hit me up in the Ask Coach channel. Anytime, any question. If you have questions about like, yeah, matchup or build or anything, I'm obviously not an Ahri expert, but I can help you find the right resources and stuff like that. So anywhere I can help, that's not like a full coaching session, just hit me up in here. Okay. So that's all for now, and yeah, get on the rift.